Peter Griffin has never been known for his brains. But when it comes to fists, he somehow thinks he's a superhero trapped in the body of a drunk dad. He's fought chickens, celebrities, world leaders, you name it. And somehow he always believes he's going to win. Today, we're not celebrating his victories, because honestly, those are rare. We're diving into the glorious train wrecks, the fights where Peter got completely wrecked, humiliated, and left wondering why gravity is suddenly so aggressive. Which one of these beatdowns was your favorite? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to count how many bones Peter probably broke in each one. Peter's first surprising defeat came not from a stranger, but from someone who shared his DNA. Before marrying Lois, Peter, looking to earn quick cash, donated sperm and accidentally became the father of many.
Before we got married, I was a little short of cash.
What, to buy our rings?
No, I wanted to pay for dial-up modem impression classes.
And after Lois encouraged him to sign a consent form, all of his kids came to the house.
Hi, Dad!
Among them was Larry, who Lois said looked exactly like Peter when he was young. Although, to be fair, all of his children looked exactly like Peter. After a while, Lois had a crush on Larry, and the two of them kissed. Even though they knew it was wrong, they still flirted. The couple was caught red-handed when Peter walked in on Larry massaging Lois and tried to undo her bra with his mouth. He and Larry had a fierce fight, but this time Peter wasn't the one who had the upper hand. His younger self beat Peter up. Larry only stops when Lois hits him on the head with a flower pot. If getting beat up by your own clone wasn't humiliating enough, Peter's next opponent wasn't family, it was fame. Peter's inflated ego led him to believe he could take on a Hollywood tough guy. Bad idea. Quagmire has organized a Quagfest to celebrate his 1000th sexual conquest. To be fair, the festival is quite diverse, even featuring a different species. Quagmire's 1000th sexual conquest is none other than a largemouth bass. At the same time, actor Liam Neeson has also arrived in Quahog to film his next movie. Peter starts talking about how he could kick Liam Neeson's ass.
Yeah, he's lucky we've never met. I'd knock his teeth down his throat and out his stupid Irish fudge nut.
Fed up with Peter's BS, Quagmire goaded him into challenging Liam Neeson to a fight. And so the gang headed to the set to find him. Peter then dressed up as Miss Potato to lure the actor out. Unfortunately for him, before he could beat Liam Neeson, Peter was pounded in a different way by another Irish star, Colin Farrell.
You're damn right, darling.
Colin Farrell?
Peter then pretended to be a priest to approach Liam Neeson in the confessional booth, only to be caught by the police. That night in prison, Liam Neeson bailed Peter out to teach him a lesson. After a failed attack, Peter became his servant.
I'll shine your shoes, or scrub your toilets, or coil your penis. The internet tells me that's something you might have a need for.
Quagmire, Cleveland, and Joe later found out the truth. After being called a houseboy by Liam Neeson and receiving a backhand, Peter couldn't take it anymore and fought back, only to be beaten even worse. You'd think Peter would have learned by now, but no, his losing streak continued, this time facing off against someone who used to stuff him in lockers. Another Thanksgiving season has come to Quahog, and this time the Griffins have a new guest, Karen Griffin, Peter's sister. With Peter's mother dead, Lois calls Karen to join her family for Thanksgiving. Peter, however, doesn't like his sister, as she bullied him growing up. To make matters worse, Karen is now a famous wrestler, and the bullying becomes more hardcore. Karen beats Peter to the point where he wets his pants in front of his friends and family.
Don't! Oh.
Meg gradually realizes that Karen is a bully and advises Peter to fight back. And he does as a female wrestler under the name Maxi Patty.
I'm Maxie Patty, which is short for Maxine Patricia. I was named after my father, Maxwell Patrick.
After training with Quagmire, Cleveland, and Joe, to little avail, he steps into the ring and challenges his sister. And surprise, surprise, Peter is beaten to a pulp and only survives when Meg intervenes with a steel chair. A real steel chair.
Say hello to Teen Laquifa!
Peter's only real revenge comes when Karen falls into a coma and he refuses to donate blood to save her.
Hello? No, I think I'm a different blood type.
If family members and actors weren't enough, Peter went international with his next fight and chose the president of Russia. For Dolph Lundgren's birthday, Peter and his friends decided to rewatch Rocky IV as a tradition. However, their DVD copy didn't work, so they bought another one. Unfortunately, it was a bootleg Russian version, and the ending was reversed, with Rocky losing to Ivan Drago. Furious, Peter sent a letter of complaint to Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling him that any American could beat up a Russian any day. Putin soon arrived in Quahog and accepted Peter's challenge. Peter was then held back by Putin's bodyguards and beaten to a pulp. Despite the beatings, Putin was impressed by Peter's spirit, or his stupidity, and invited him back to Russia with him. Therefore, Peter discovered that the president had orchestrated a number of terrible things. Before Putin could step in and suspend Tom Brady of the New England Patriots, Peter challenged him to a boxing match.
It's time someone stood up to you and survived.
The fight was pretty intense, just like in Rocky, until the two made up and danced together. However, we later learned that Putin had poisoned Peter's tea, causing severe radiation poisoning. In true espionage fashion, Putin won, subtly and lethally. Just when you think Peter's done picking fights with world leaders, he takes on one closer to home, the biggest American of them all, Donald Trump. Peter gets into trouble with another high-ranking official, this time it's US President Donald Trump. After mastering the art of fake news, Peter is offered a job as the White House press secretary. He moves his family to DC to take up the new job.
Everyone, welcome to our new place.
There, Meg is molested by Trump, but it seems the Griffins don't believe her.
Meg, you expect us to believe that the President of the United States would grab a woman by her That's ridiculous!
Trump gets caught the second time, and Peter decides to quit. He then taunts Peter about being a bad role model, to which Peter claps back by calling Trump cash poor.
You are cash poor.
The two then fight all over the White House. Trump's magical hair even turned into a whip mid-fight, whipping Peter's pants off. Peter ends up falling off the Washington Monument. Trump falls off while trying to save him, but they are both saved by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. This fight was clearly inspired by the giant chicken fights, but this time it was Trump who turned the tables, not Peter. And those were Peter Griffin's most epic fights, where he got completely wrecked. Sure, he's often the one dishing out beatdowns, but watching him lose again and again adds a refreshing twist to Family Guy's formula. And admit it, it's weirdly satisfying to see the guy finally get what's coming to him, right?